Hello, how are we doing today, chat? Oh my god, we are building a camera. Okay, well technically we have 3 options, but I think I'm gonna do the camera. How are we? Welcome in today, Carry-Across. Is it Cos or Cross? I guess there's no R. I don't know why in my mind I thought it was Cross. Has it been Cross before? Have I said Cross before? I'm always terrible with names, whether it's in person or not. I've always been bad with words. I mean, if you've seen any of my recent Pokopia streams, you can see me reading, and let me tell you, it's not that great. Who would have thought a children's game would be so hard for me? Speaking of, we're going to be playing that today, hopefully, at the end of the day, if I don't decide to just continuously play DuckTales and smash my head into the wall over and over again. But the grand plan for today is I'm going to be building this camera. I'm going to be hopefully beating the final level of DuckTales Remastered and then playing Pokopia to end off the night. How you guys doing today? How are you? How are you, Koss? How are you doing? Carrie? Is Carrie better? Carrie's probably better. I ask literally every time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tired. I got off stream at 9 o'clock last night, and I was like, man, I think I'm gonna go to bed. And then I joined a Discord call and was up until 1 a.m. So, you know, mission successful, you know? Mission successful. I'm fine, chilling. I presume that's how about you. Yeah, the B's right next to the end. You probably fat-fingered it. I do that all the time. Yeah, I get it. It's okay. No worries. I'm doing pretty good. I'm currently waking up. I'm currently drinking. It's coffee time. You know. Every morning I would say every morning. Certainly Monday through Friday, I wake up with a coffee. And so right now I'm currently drinking that. I have an espresso maker. Wait, what time is it right there? It's noon. But I woke up at 10. I went to bed at 1. So, you know, it's been a long week. I don't know. It's been an awfully long week for me. I don't know why. I've just been like min-maxing my days recently, you know? That's what happens when I'm like happy again. I just work all the time. I be working nonstop, which that's why sometimes I stream every day for 2 weeks, and then hit a patch, and I'm like, oh fuck, what if I doom scrolled in my bed? Oh, wow, time zones be time zoning. What time is it for you? Are you a Midwest guy? Are you like a mountainous guy, or are you East Coast? I think you're, if I remember. I know OG Blazemaster, I think is from the Midwest, maybe even Illinois, because I think I told him that I was from Illinois, and he might have, or it was Indiana. I think he was from the Midwest. Are you, like, my guess is you're also from the Midwest because you were friends with him. Right now it's 10 p.m. What? Do you live in Europe? You live in Europe? Also, I do. Wow. Where in Europe do you live? Holy shit. Here, I'm going to get things set up for this. So I'm going to point you literally like all the way down. This is pretty good. I think I'm going to build this one. Here, is it better if I do this? I'm going to build this one. I think this is the camcorder's pretty sick. Greece. Is that where, okay. I'm trying to think. I think I know of a comedian that's from Greece. Is Stavros from there? Stavros. Is he Greek, or is he what nationality? I'm trying to, is he Greek? He is Greek. He's Greek descendant. Are you just as funny as Stavros? Do you know this guy? Are you just as funny as this guy? I'll put me up here. Oh, I guess I literally just covered him. See this guy right here? This guy's hilarious. I went to his show when he was here. This is a really bad picture of Stavros. Here, we're gonna be watching the Mariners documentary today. You should, if you've never seen it, legitimately, like, I know you won't care about baseball, and that's fine. You don't have to care about baseball. You don't need to care about Mariners. It's just one of those stories that it's awesome. Let me see if there's... Here, yeah, this is a 5-minute clip. I know Alexandros Taval. Okay. Here, let me look this up. Let me see if he is... Here, I'll look up your guy. Oh, can you read this? Wow. Knowing 2 languages is so talented. That's so... oh my god. I can barely... I took... see, I'm admitting this on the internet, and you can't narc. You're from Greece. You can't narc. I never cheated on any test in high school. Ever. Except... every single Spanish test I cheated on. I did not want to learn. I did not care. I wanted to get through it. Which, don't get me wrong, I learned a little bit. I did the best I could. But, yeah, I cheated on literally every Spanish test, and I could not imagine learning a new language. I believe YouTube has auto-translation for Greek to English. Oh my god. Let me see. Subtitles? Nope. Uh-oh. Subtitles. Annotations? Probably not. What, this guy? Hello. Well, my guy speaks in English. So, here, we will just watch my guy. Nope, my bad. You're all good, brother. You're all good. That just means I get to show you my guy now. This is Stavros. I went on his tour. We had a calendar of this guy. This guy is so funny, and he's Greek.
I love this.
This is your Greek freak.
Huh? Nice.
I get to drink my coffee a little bit.
My friend with the hat. Huh? Waiting for me all day. You've been here like it's a Star Wars movie. He's just been. He was lined up last night with a sleeping bag, waiting. Nice. That's a pretty empty life, man. I'm sorry to hear that. No, what'd you do? Come on, you got a job probably? Huh? Okay. Just answer directly.
I'm trying to move so you guys can see things.
You just tell me directly what was going on. What's your 9 to 5? You said some people have 9 to 5. We can't. This is easing in. Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. What's going? First of all, don't talk to me like we're a divorced couple. Marker, we're gonna do it right during the graduation ceremony. We can't wait till the reception afterwards. I'll pay them. I'm a little late. I got taken off a project. I don't have the alimony right now. You're gonna embarrass me in front of her? Don't forget who paid for the private school.
This guy's good.
I'm just asking, man. Relax. I'm not gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, I went to go see him on tour. He came to my town, and he was hilarious. From my POV, this dude has excellent pronunciation. This guy is a second generation. I don't know. His dad moved here and was from Greece. But he lived in America for most of his life. So I bet he knows Greek. And knows the culture, but he's not like from the mainland and then coming up. Holy hell! Who is this? Wicked juggled clown? Jungle clown? What's his name? Oh my god. Well, thank you so much. Hey, you know the rules. Any of my most recent follower is now my favorite. So thank you, Wicked. I appreciate this. We're currently I'm currently getting ready to start the Lego building. We are going over my good friend Carrie here is Greek. So we're talking about his nationality. Wicked Juggalo. Oh, Juggalo. Okay. So I could only see it in the bottom. Oh, sorry, my camera's flipped around. The bottom right down there. You get it. I could only see it down there, and I had to move my camera to see it over here. Oh my god, this webcam is. I can't point. How you doing today, Juggalo? Yeah, we were watching this 4-minute clip of this Greek guy, who's a comedian, because Carrie is from Greece. Do you know? Guess what time it is in Greece right now? Don't you dare look it up. Do not look it up. Guess what time it is. Mom, I'm famous. Well, guess what? I'm building you the camera. Who's this? Why is there a box in there?
So what's your job? He's like, I work for the Mossad. He's like, I'm not. What do you do? Something
I love how we have to watch Greek stand-up comedy because of me. That's the thing. That's the ruse of this all. Is you think that I did this for you? No, I just wanted to watch Stav. I think Stavros is so funny. You think, yeah, we're watching it for you, of course. Yeah. Okay. Right. It's like when a dad buys his son football tickets, and we're like, oh, we're going for the kid, and he's fucking 6. Yeah, just gotta bring the kid, oh, we have to go show him some football, oh. Yeah, the kid loves football. No, dude. You want to see Tom Brady. Don't lie. Nice, man. I'm good. I'm just chilling, listening to ICP, drinking some Orange Fago. Man, what a life. What a life that is. What time is it? Some Orange Fago. Wow. Dude, I remember when I lived in the Midwest. I don't know if this is even, I don't know if it's only a Midwest thing, but I moved out to the West Coast, and we don't really have Fuego anymore. Dude, Fuego was always awesome. You'd always get this, like, these 16-ounce drinks, and they barely cost anything. Man, Orange Fuego. What time is it for you right now? Oh, so you're on the East Coast. Okay. Interesting. Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad I could be a part of your morning, well, I guess afternoon routine. I say morning because I woke up probably about an hour ago. I should really stop saying the morning. Do you know Stavros at all?
Come on, tell your pal. You work in salt mines? No, you don't. What do you do? Tell me. You can tell me. You keep looking at your girl nervously. What does he do? I don't want you to betray. Yeah. Just does tech sales. All right. You wanted to cultivate an air of mystery around yourself, huh? You want everybody to think you were a villain. That's all right, dude. It's okay. How's this go? You guys doing good? You think you're gonna make it? No, I'm kidding. No, that was me being an asshole.
I may be a bit too Greek to understand some words. Okay. Heard. Well, when we watch the Mariners video, please ask me if you have any questions. Because I will surely mansplain some fucking, some baseball. For sure. I mean, it's kind of my job. It's kind of why I'm here, to kind of just talk about things. Here.
What, are you going to loosen up to answer a fucking straightforward question? What kind of tech sales? Relax. I'm nice guy. I don't know what's so intimidating about him. We'll go back. I just want to do a little compare and contrast. You know what I mean? That's it.
Okay. Where I need a 1x1. Okay.
You can just tell me, man.
All right. We're going to go to the Mariners video. The Seattle Mariners is the most interesting team in all of baseball history that has never won a World Series. And I can say this very confidently and undoubtedly because they are the only team to never win a World Series. And yet they have one of the most devout fan bases in all of baseball. Yes, a team of quote-unquote losers who have never won have one of the most devout teams and interesting histories in the history of baseball. And frankly, it's a wonderful video. I'm very excited to watch this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've already seen it. I actually watch it all the time, like probably once a year, I would say. But I am building the right one, right? Yes. Okay.
Not because Junior wouldn't get in. Everyone saw that coming 20 years before the fact.
If you have any questions,
please let me know. Because it was rumored that his plaque would be sculpted with his hat on backwards. He'd always worn it.
Thank you guys for being here today. I do very much appreciate this. Later today, we're going to be playing some DuckTales.
His face unless he turned it around. The public
remastered.
Was one of a guy
I'm on the last
who,
level, and I hope to beat it today. But I also spent 6 hours last time trying to beat it.
Starring in funny commercials, pulling increasingly ingenious and elaborate pranks on his teammates. The story of the real Ken Griffey Jr. was.
I need to pause when I talk.
Incompatible with what we saw. The Mariners made Junior 1987's #1 overall draft pick, signing him right out of high school. He became a celebrity very quickly, tearing through the minors and receiving a spring training invite with big leaguers in 1989. He played so well that manager Jim Lefebvre had no choice but to start him at center field on opening day. He's shown us he can do everything, Lefebvre said. There isn't one thing he can't do. Others agreed. In their 1989 set, the brand new Upper Deck Baseball Card Company reserved their #1 slot, traditionally reserved for a superstar, for a 19-year-old who had yet to appear in a single Major League Baseball game. He didn't let him down. Wins above replacement is a metric that attempts to estimate a player's overall value to his team in terms of wins. Junior's mark in '89 was just over 3, the best baseball had seen from a teenage position player in over 60 years. His season could have been even better had he not missed a month of action after slipping and falling in the shower. Junior was already becoming the first great Seattle Mariners.
Fucking hilarious. Slipping and falling in the shower to get you to not, well, I don't want to say to get you as if it was intentional, but to not play because of slipping and falling in the shower is the most Seattle Mariners thing ever.
The first era, the era of forgotten bums piecing together losing season after losing season and
we have started I don't want to say halfway through, but maybe 30 minutes to an hour in. So there's a bit of a lore that you have not already seen. But we've gone through a good amount of stadiums so far, and manager changes, and just overall a lot of things have changed, and it hasn't made us necessarily any better until right now. Pretty much, we at this point have not had a winning record at the end of the season ever, not once at this point.
Far-flung corner of the country was over. And
we were dog.
Most have no idea of what he went through. At age 17, he was shipped off from his Cincinnati home to play minor league ball in Bellingham, Washington.
Hey, Bellingham.
He literally could not have been sent any further from home. Ken Sr., a 3-time All-Star, knew what it was to be a baseball star, but his son's journey was something else entirely. Junior was saddled with massive expectations before his 18th birthday. The pressure, coupled with
any of you watch baseball
being so
at
far
all?
from home, weighed on him enormously. He struggled with depression, and years later he would disclose that he once made an attempt on his own life in this time.
Damn.
At that time, and every time, Senior was there, helping him navigate an experience that no one can truly be ready for. What was once a combative relationship between the two faded as Senior came to recognize the burden his son was carrying. Sometimes, he said, The only privacy he gets is out in center field.
I think about that a lot, you know? Like, I don't know, just the feeling of being surrounded by so many people, but still feeling so alone. Like, I think that can be a very relatable thing. That could be a very relatable thing to a lot of people, just because they don't have the correct outlets in their life or whatever it may be. But I always very much sympathize with Ken Griffey Jr. at this point in his career because he had so many expectations. Like, can you imagine? Like, imagine right now I was on the Seattle Mariners. I'm 21. He's 19. I know where I was when I was 19. I was in college. Fucking barely able to make that work. And fucking in the end of it didn't. I'm no longer in college and I'm not even in the state anymore. So I'm just like, man, imagine being this guy. I know baseball is a sport, that's it. Yes, it's called me. Well, I mean, I'll give you some fundamentals, maybe to help you a little bit here. Baseball is it's a very long season, right? There's a lot. It's a very long game. So usually starting around April, they kick off the season, and the season lasts for about 162 games. And by the end of the season, whoever's the best in their division of 4 teams gets to go to the playoffs. And so these 164 games, you are trying to do one of the hardest things in sports: hitting a baseball. Hitting a baseball is really difficult. It is not easy at all, okay? Like Aaron Judge, he's one of the best baseball players right now. He makes it look easy. Shohei Ohtani, you might know the name, maybe. He is a superstar, but then again, I know him mainly because is this supposed to be red or can I use black? Okay, I think it's supposed to be red. It's supposed Shohei Ohtani is a superstar because Japan's really into baseball. But Japanese people aren't very big and stout. So they play a very different game. And don't get me wrong, there's some people that are big and stout and they do very well. And they come to the US and they do very well. But it's very much a team game over there. Well, Shohei Ohtani is a very big guy. And with the work ethic and the differences in how Japanese baseball is treated here, he is like a superstar. A superstar. That being said, every single game, you have 9 innings. You probably have about 3 chances to step up to the plate and try to put the ball in play. If you hit a home run, great, you score. More than likeliness of hitting a home run, you are probably going to hit a single or a double or a triple, whatever that means for said base, like here. Because here, let's say this is home plate, right? And we got second base, first base, and third base, right? If you're likely to hit a single, there's not much you can really do to get around these bases. If you hit a home run, that's very good, very hard to do. So baseball is very much a very team effort sport. Because if you, let's say, hit a single, yeah, maybe you can steal second, steal third, steal fourth, all which are things that are very hard to do. But sure, let's say you can do that. You maybe could input more. But what's more likely to happen is you get on first or second, and you need a team member to do the hardest thing in all sports: hit the ball. And so they basically said, all right, I know you're a 19-year-old, Ken Griffey Jr. we're not asking you to hit the ball. We're asking you to hit the ball very hard and score runs. We're asking you to do one of the hardest things in sports. Please carry our baseball team. Have us win. And so that's where we're at now. They're asking Ken Griffey Jr., can you please carry us? Can you please coddle us to victory? And don't get me wrong, he'll have some supporting cast, and we'll learn more about this later. Because not only does a baseball team need to try to hit the ball, they need to try to have the ball not get hit.
Here's Junior during a game in 1990, chasing down an outfield fly. His dad is in the building, looking on. When Junior pulls a classic Junior move and steals the catch from the left fielder, all Senior can do is laugh. There he is.
He's also a very goofy guy.
The 40-year-old Griffey was...
Also, they talk about this in the previous part. The reason why Ken Griffey wanted to be a Mariner is because when Ken Griffey Sr., this guy, when he was on the Yankees, he was training, right? He was training with the Yankees, and there's this notorious asshole coach. I'm forgetting his name currently, but he's a notorious asshole. And when they were training, the asshole decided to make a fool out of the little kid Ken Griffey Jr. and told him to stop fucking around. Ken Griffey Jr. then took this to heart, swearing to destroy the Yankees one day and beat them in a World Series. And one thing I will tell you, because I don't want to spoil anything, is that Ken Griffey played his best games against the Yankees. This guy is very vengeful. This guy fucking hates the Yankees. And you know what? You should too.
Teammates with his 20-year-old son.
Fuck the Yankees!
The two were neighbors in the outfield and batted right next to each other in the
You feel
lineup.
me?
In one of baseball's best-known pieces
You
of
feel me,
trivia,
Carrie?
they became
Fuck
the
the
first
Yankees!
father-son duo to hit back-to-back home runs. Sure, acquiring Senior.
You
in
should
first
you should
place
tell
was
the
probably a
Greeks over there
publicity stunt, but
to
you're gonna
start
hear these
hating
words
on
from
the
me quite
Yankees.
often. Who cares? In '92, thanks to unreliable
I would love
pitching,
to
they
start
followed up their first
hating on
ever
the
winning
Yankees,
season by dipping far
internationally.
into the red,
I think that would
seemingly
be
undoing years
amazing.
of positive momentum. They had now finished dead last in the standings for the 6th time in their 16-year history. For reasons we'll eventually get into, this wasn't such a bad thing. Meet Jay Buhner. In one of the great heists of the 1980s, the Mariners had fleeced the dreaded Yankees out of the power-hitting right fielder, giving up
What do
only
you know
Greg
about
Phelps
Jay
in return.
Buhner?
Okay, so here's my chance to solve a decades-old mystery for people who watched Seinfeld but didn't watch baseball.
Mariner
Remember
no
the
brim. Lobotomy!
episode where Frank
Hello,
Costanza
hello.
starts yelling at George Steinbrenner out of nowhere about some guy named Jay Buhner?
What the hell did you trade Jay Buhner for? You don't know what the hell you're doing.
Mariner no brim. How are you
And
doing
Steinbrenner
today,
goes on
Lobotomy?
instead about some
I'm currently building a Lego set. This is my good friend Carrie. He's Greek. He's Greek. He's currently living in Greece. It's 10 p.m. over there. Isn't that crazy?
guy named Ken Phelps.
My baseball people love Ken Phelps bat. They kept saying Ken Phelps,
Ken Phelps.
Well, this is what Frank was so mad about. Unlike Griffey, Buhner is not a five-tool player. He doesn't steal bases, hit for average, or field all that well. He is, however, a master practitioner of
The
blurping. Blurping is a
Dude.
term Buhner himself came up with, and
Shout
it
out
refers to the
blurping.
act of vomiting on cue for the purpose of eliciting pukes from nearby sympathy vomiters. Why? These are the Seattle Mariners. We'll never be able to answer why questions. When,
Yow.
what, who?
Good.
Sure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's what. Have you? Were you here when we watched the first half of this video, Lobotomy? I'm actually surviving in Greece. No, I'm joking. Yeah. Right. No, I think Greece is fine right now. I don't think they're caught in any of this conflict, at least to my knowledge. I think they're actually. I mean, I think you know better than me, but I mean, I think Greece is pretty chill right now. Where the fuck? Okay.
We can help you with those questions, but not why.
Never
Buhner
why.
demonstrated his true mastery of the craft during a game in 1992. In right field, Buhner executed a blurp, spilling his lunch on the turf.
Wow.
It must have been a remarkable performance because when
Beautiful.
left fielder Kevin Mitchell watched from about 200 feet away, he became queasy and began puking as well. Finally, Griffey Jr. looked over from center field. He couldn't hold it in and began to vomit. The entire Seattle...
Dude, what a beautiful game, huh? One of the most... It's so stressful. Okay? You have to do one of the hardest things in all of sports. And yet they're thrown up in the outfield. No, anyone got a quick summary? The Seattle Mariners, when they first started off as the Pilots. They played there for 1 year, and then they sold the Pilots. They then needed to get a new stadium. They then moved into Sick Stadium, which then they rushed to completion. People hated the stadium. It was literally being built during some of the games, and the porta potties fucking stunk. But the players really enjoyed Seattle and tried to make the best of the experience. So they always try to play pranks on each other. One of the pranks being Mr. Jello. That's the name of it. Mr. Jello was played on the head coach of the Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners head coach walked into his hotel room one day. All of his furniture was moved. All of it was moved to the side. Everything was out of place. He goes to the bathroom, and the toilet is full of Jello. Pretty fire. I think in the video they tell you who it is, but I guess you're going to have to watch it.
Mariners outfield was vomiting at the same time.
This is blurping.
Jay Buhner had just executed the triple blurp in the middle of a baseball game.
Because in the middle of a baseball game, you can do these things because you do have time, but it's just so stressful.
By the time 1993 rolled around, Griffey's game
Casually
reached
eating
new
euros.
heights,
I didn't even
and
see
at
that
age
message until
23
now.
Was making history to
What's
be
in
as
a euro?
great as he was,
I don't
as
even
young as he
really
was.
know. Am I saying it right? Euro? Certainly not gyro. I know that. Euro, I think.
On July 25th, after homering in each of the previous 5 nights, this shot off Jose Mesa made him the youngest player to ever go deep in 6 consecutive games. Then he did it again in the game after that.
Oh!
Then he did it again in the game after that.
Oh!
Pitch from Banks is welcome. There it goes!
There it goes!
Uppercut! Griffey has tied the Major League record! Holy cow, the kid has done it!
Tying the all-time record at 8 straight that to this day has only been done by 2 other players regardless of age. When the dust settled on that season, he'd topped a batting average of 300 to go along
He's
with
nuts.
45 homers.
He's nuts.
It all led to the most total bases by a 23-year-old since Hank Aaron back in 1957.
He's
At that
crazy,
point, Griffey's
Chad.
career totals included 132 homers,
Where are we at?
1,428 total bases,
What are we-
and 453 RBI. That was the most career dingers anyone his age had hit since Frank Robinson. Only Mel Ott,
Where the
over
fuck?
60 years prior, had accumulated that many total bases, while a player so young hadn't driven in over 450 runs since Ted Williams prior to departing MLB to fight in World War II.
Crazy.
Combined with his 4th straight Gold Glove,
That's wild. Baseball's been going on for so long that some players literally left to go play in World War II. Fuckers stopped playing baseball to go fight Nazis. Like, can we sit in that for a moment? Fuckers stopped playing baseball to go fight Nazis. Like, what a world we fucking live in, dude. Like, holy shit. Like, my God.
if it wasn't clear before, 1993 removed any and all doubt that we were witnessing a once-in-a-generation talent blossoming before our very eyes.
Chopped up chicken, fries, ketchup, and mustard, I believe.
Just like the
I like to add
1981
some
season,
tzatziki.
1994 was shortened by
I don't know how
labor
to
dispute.
say that.
And just like
How do you say
81,
that?
94 was
Taz-
monumentally weird for the Mariners. One of the most
Zach
sought-after
Zeke?
records was the single-season home
Wrapped
run
in a
mark of 61,
pita.
set by Roger Maris in
I think it's pita, not
1961.
pitta.
In the 3+ decades to follow, only 3 guys, 1965 Willie Mays, 1977 George Foster, and 1990 Cecil Fielder, came within even 10 of that number, and those guys lost pace with them before the season was even half over. But in 1994, Griffey, who we see here in green, helped to lead an armada of players in pursuit of Maris and his record. Matt Williams, Jeff Bagwell, Frank Thomas, Barry Bonds, and Albert Bell
I love the
were
music to
bum-rushing the
this.
history books. But it felt like Junior, who of course was capable of going on home run tears without warning, had the best shot. The strike wiped out the season in August, and ever since we've been left to wonder what would have happened. I'm left in a state of personal conflict here. On one hand, collective action is good and labor strikes are cool. On the other hand, I was looking forward to seeing where the squiggly lines were going to go on my computer screen. The strike also denied us a chance to witness some history that was headed in the opposite direction. Over the years, there had been 7 teams in the AL West. With that much competition, the Mariners had no chance of contending. But in '94, the American League was realigned. There were now only 4 teams. And as luck would have it, all 4 were
where the fuck?
garbage.
Where is
The
this?
strike mercifully abbreviated what probably would have ended up as the worst division in baseball history. At the end of it, the Rangers were leading the West with a 52-62 record. The Mariners, despite being as bad as ever, were only a couple games out. It was the closest they'd ever come to first at the end of a season. And if everyone else getting worse is what it took to get the Mariners into contention, so be it. Forget their win-loss record, though. Who cares? The Seattle Mariners seemed like the team of the future. They were wearing new uniforms now, with a redesigned logo and an electric blue jersey. In a time when domes were still cool, they played in the Kingdome, which sat in the shadow of the Cascades, and in the middle of a mysterious distant city whose cultural exports were computer stuff and Nirvana and the Space Needle. Around this time, I was growing
Tzatziki.
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 Is this good? Is this good? Is this the right one? Tolerable. All right. All right. All right. Baseball, but with an American grenade, and if it hits for a home run and explodes somewhere in the air of the crowd. Air or the crowd. Yeah, we can call it bomb ball or bomber man. Oh, I think that one's taken. When did Lego have its own category? Honestly, I don't know. But I only saw and I looked it up literally today for this. But I'm not necessarily complaining, you know, like, sure, makes my job easier fucking titling things.
up in places I found ordinary, because you always think the place
Dude,
you
we
live
take
in is
tolerable.
ordinary. It was easy to assign a mystique to this.
Are you guys
faraway,
following this?
futuristic
Is this making
paradise,
sense? Do
and
you
the
guys need any
superhero who lived
context
there.
for this?
After
for the
some early
Mariners?
90s rumblings of a potential move to Florida, the anxiety of keeping baseball in Seattle had vanished as well. In a turn of events that sounds made up by an 8-year-old, a majority stake in the Mariners was bought by Hiroshi Yamauchi, the president of Nintendo. Yamauchi was a billionaire who had never been to a baseball game, didn't know who Ken Griffey Jr. was. and seemed
Nintendo
to
is
be more
still
interested in
sponsoring the
expanding
Seattle
Nintendo
Mariners
of
to this
America's
day.
footprint than actually turning a profit. He wasn't prepared for how happy the Mariners actually made people. As he put it, it was as though the money he spent was alive.
They are still
Throughout its history,
sponsoring.
Seattle baseball was regularly in trouble, and its only victory was in simply being allowed to exist. Now they had real identity. They had their superstar.
I actually have a
They were
hat,
the
and I
coolest
can
team
go
in
find it if
baseball.
you guys really want.
Somehow,
I have a hat
things
that's
had
a
come
Seattle
together.
Mariners like official merch, and it has Mario on it.
It was the perfect time
Like at first, you probably
for
won't
things
even.
to fall apart.
Oh no. What's going on? You probably couldn't even tell it's a Mariners hat until I tell
While the
you
team was
or
warming
show
up
you
on
the
July
logo.
19th, 4 of the Kingdome's ceiling tiles fell and collapsed into the seats.
Kingdom.
Nobody was hurt,
Yeah.
but
So they had to
Mariners
rebuild a new
games were
stadium, and it was called the
immediately
Kingdom.
relocated to other venues, and the players' strike ensured that there would be no more Mariners home games throughout the rest of the season. The team's ownership group leveraged this to demand public money for a new stadium to replace the Kingdome, which wasn't yet 20 years old. If they didn't get this funding, they would sell the team, likely to someone who would move them out of town. There was no way this was happening again. Not now. Not the minute Seattle baseball finally found relevance after all these decades.
Come on!
It wasn't fair. In a different, more normal world, a baseball team would build a baseball stadium and play there, and that would be that. It's as though Seattle baseball has to perpetually fight simply to exist. As though it's running afoul of the order
Because they
of the
did.
universe.
They literally did have to fight to exist. But always remember, chat,
It's determined
you have
that
a right
special election will
to
be held in
exist.
September of 1995.
just like One Piece.
The public will,
You
in
feel?
effect, decide whether an increase in sales tax is worth keeping the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners themselves, who have never reached the playoffs or even finished better than third in their division, have no choice but to convince the public by making their case on the field.
okay.
They'll be led by Lou
Dude, I'm
Piniella,
like halfway.
now 3 years into his decade-long career as the Mariners manager, and beloved by players and fans alike. Piniella had been Ken Griffey Sr.'s teammate in New York, and when he became manager of the Yankees, Sr. was traded away. A couple years later, Sr. was playing for the Reds, who hired Piniella to be his manager again, and under Pinella's watch, Sr. was traded away again. Regardless, Sr. always liked Piniella, and so did Jr. No one in recent memory can throw a more theatrical temper tantrum than Lou. He'll deliver his magnum opus in Cleveland a few years from now, in which he enters a sort of fugue state and doesn't even remember everything he said or did. After arguing a call and getting thrown out of the game, he indignantly throws his hat into the infield. He spends another moment in the umpire's face, then spins around and kicks his hat.
My goat!
He kicks again, more angrily this time, and just about misses his hat entirely. Lou switches course after this, punting the hat into shallow
Okay, I
center
need a
and jawing with the
smaller
ump some
one.
more. He stomps over, bends down, flips the hat back in the infield, and squares up for a kick this time, punting it further.
Oh, okay, here's one.
5 kicks, 6 kicks, 7, until he navigates back into the dirt. Finally, he picks up his cap and makes his exit, but not before he throws it into the crowd with one final flourish. A helpful
Attaboy.
Cleveland fan throws it back at him, which Lou seemed to appreciate after the game. Point being, Lou Piniella is the appropriate man to lead this team. The Mariners start the season 14-12. The evening of May 26th, the Orioles' Kevin Bass smacks one deep into right center.
So,
It's the-
Mariners are currently trying to fight to exist. They need to convince the public, hey, we can be good at baseball. We can be entertaining. Please buy us a new stadium. Or else, you won't have baseball anymore in your city. Or literally anywhere near. Like, I need to, like, make this clear. Map of baseball. Like, it's not close when I say that there literally is nothing up here for baseball. Okay, sure, you can have cookies. Like, if you are from Montana, from Wyoming, from Idaho, from Oregon, you probably have a lot of baseball around you. It's a lot of, I don't want to say it's a lot of flatland because I know Montana isn't. I know it is here. But if you're rooting for a baseball team, it's normally the Mariners. But that's the thing, is they sucked ass. They were terrible. And so it was kind of hard to always convince people, hey, root for the Mariners, because they didn't even really, they never made the playoffs. They never made they didn't have a winning record. How do you expect to get to the playoffs without a winning record? And so it was very much just like, well, all of these people will just have to like baseball somewhere else.
The 7th inning of a regular season baseball game in May. Griffey doesn't have to do what he's about to do, but Ken Griffey Jr. can only be great. He has no other choice. He sprints about 20 miles, takes off, throws himself at the wall, makes one of the most iconic catches of the 1990s, and hits the ground 10 feet away from his hat.
Jonah!
It's estimated that the
Going to my
Mariners,
dad's for a
who
while.
haven't done much of
Enjoy the
anything,
stream, brother.
6 seasons
Thank
with their
you. Thank
superstar,
you. I'll probably be
without
live
him
when
for 3
when you get
months.
back. Maybe. I mean, I guess there's always that maybe option. But yeah, I'm actually making sizable
Meanwhile,
progress.
the Mariners and the California Angels are fighting for the division
on
lead.
on this
While the Mariners spend June
on this build right now. Like, I'm making like noticeable Like, I think I'm gonna be done with this like probably in 15 minutes.
wins
I'm probably
and
gonna
losses
finish
at
this
an even
video.
rate, the Angels are positioning themselves for a run, which they finally begin in mid-July. In this span, they go a remarkable 17.
Oh my god, I forgot.
And
to
even
use
those
that
3 losses were
Shouldn't be long.
squeakers.
I'll probably be
One was a
home in
one-run
an hour
loss,
and a half.
one
Oh
an
shit.
extra
Okay.
innings loss, and one a walk-off. Those 17.
Thank you for the
wins,
hydrates. Thank
more
you. I
than
appreciate it.
half Came by at least
Chug
5
some
runs.
water, boy.
The
I'll do it. I'll
Angels
do it. I'll
are
do it.
clobbering the American League.
I'll do it. Okay.
In fact,
Okay.
up to this
Okay.
point in the season,
Okay. You're gonna have to kind of like just trust. I mean, you can see that. How many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six. Ah! Come on now. Too easy. Thank you for the hydrates. I appreciate it. I will hopefully see you about an hour and a half. Thank you for stopping by, Jonah. I appreciate this.
they
We're
have
gonna be
far
watching
and
this
away
documentary,
the best run
DuckTales,
differential in
and then
all of
maybe some more
baseball.
Pocopia.
The Mariners all the way down here.
So it's
at
gonna be a
+3,
long day.
Almost the definition of mediocre. Throughout the Angels' streak, they've gone nowhere and are now 13 games out of the lead. Time is running out. Griffey actually returns to the field a few games ahead of schedule, but nothing much changes. California is holding steady as a rock at about 25 games over 500, and Seattle is just lying there like a beached whale. This is all they'd ever done. Even now, with the public vote less than a month away and the people of Seattle to impress, the Mariners had failed to present any other version of themselves. It seemed as though they had no other version of themselves. Across their entire 19-year history, they've experienced one day at 10 games over 500. Approximately 24 hours in August of 1991. That's it. Suppose they somehow rally in this very short window and get there again. Great. They're less than halfway there. This is a team with no meaningful past to speak of, and, in all likelihood, no future. There is only the present. There is nothing to do but march.
Wait.
Whoa.
What's going on? What's going on here?
Something terrible has happened to the California
Hello?
Angels. They're getting ejected. They're fighting with each other. In general, they're starting to lose it. And it's easy to understand why. Losing 9 games in a row while holding the division lead is horrifying enough. But this one is like no other. Over these 9 games, they've been outscored by 48 runs, or just over 5 per game. They've gotten absolutely thumped. Now, it's true that up to this point, there have been 36 9-game streaks in baseball history that were this bad.
Wow.
But look at who
We're
they
getting
happened to.
somewhere. We're
Almost all
getting
of these teams
somewhere.
were way under 500. They were already
Oh my God.
totally cooked by the time the losing streak began. And in fact, a good number of these streaks belong to some of the worst teams in the history of the game. The only team anywhere near the 95 Angels is the 1957 Redlegs, who were 61-49, but they were in 4th place, and a postseason appearance was pretty unlikely for them. These Angels were in first place by a huge margin. They were cruising.
I'm so scared for DuckTales
In
today.
what feels at first like
It
too little
took
too late,
me
the
fucking.
Mariners finally smelled
I
blood in the
literally
water.
I spent 6 hours last stream just playing, and I didn't even do it. And I'm gonna keep going. You know, it's gonna be one of those things where I just like press on. But man, I really want to play Pocopia, and I would love to not have to have to juggle when do I give up to play Pokopia. I would love to just do it, you know? I would love to just do it. I would love to finish it today and stop thinking about, man, when am I going to play DuckTales again? Don't get me wrong, my thumb is still hurting and still has a cut on it. So we'll see how that affects
When
things.
they wake up on the morning of September 19th,
But it's going to be
they're
interesting.
suddenly only 2 games behind. It's their big day. That evening, they rally from a 4-1 deficit to take the Rangers into extra innings. In the bottom of the 11th, Griffey finds himself down to his final strike. What's important to know about Junior is that he's far more than just a power hitter. Most pitches aren't home run opportunities, but many, including some well outside the strike zone, are a chance to slap one through. And with a man on second, that is all the Mariners need.
Ah, yeah! Yeah, baby!
Down south,
Take
the
her
Angels
home!
lose again.
Come on,
Then
Ken Griffey!
They watch the news and wait.
Ken Griffey!
With most of the ballots counted, the measure to fund a new Mariners stadium, thereby keeping them in Seattle, currently leads by a thin margin.
It's a very unique
But these are just the
beast. I don't
voters
even
who
know what
showed up
this
today.
is.
Around 45,000 absentee ballots are still out there, and they were cast some time ago by voters who hadn't yet seen the lunacy that's currently unfolding. These voters have been watching
it
these
comes with
Mariners, the Miracle Mariners.
Film.
But the votes yet to be counted are from people who know nothing but these Mariners.
No, no, no. No, don't, no.
The counting continues. The next day, it's announced that with close to 500,000 votes counted, the lead has shrunk to 300.
Chat, do you
There are
guys
still
see the piece I'm
15,000
looking
votes
for?
yet to be counted. That night, the Mariners come from behind again to knock off the A's 10-7. Down in Texas, the Angels answer with another loss. This happens again and again. The Seattle Mariners are now leading the American League West. If they hold on, they're headed to the playoffs for the first time in their history.
I guess I'll just start grabbing the things that I...
It all happened so quickly, it's disorienting. The Angels cheated fate by dropping 9 in a row down the home stretch and keeping a comfortable lead, but then, after briefly gathering themselves, they dropped 9 in a row again.
Boom!
Losing streaks of this size are extraordinarily rare in
I haven't
baseball.
found it.
Since the Angels were founded 35 years ago, they've only suffered a handful, and typically during seasons in which they were way out of the playoff race and didn't have much to play for. Now, at the worst possible time, they've suffered 2 in the space of a month. No new results from King County votes since the 21st. It's time to meet 2 more heroes. First, Tino Martinez, just another of the Mariners' seemingly endless supply of power hitters. His career will be defined by memorable clutch home runs, although many of them come after he leaves Seattle. And then, there's Dave Niehaus.
Swung on in a high fly ball.
I have zero emotional investment in the Mariners, but the way their longtime broadcaster Dave Niehaus would call big moments still made my goosebumps get goosebumps. And whether it was his trademark phrases like breaking out the rye bread and mustard for a grand salami, or just his overall infectious enthusiasm that made a random Tuesday night in August feel like Game 7 of the World Series, he simply
Which
had
it never
a unique
was.
way to connect with fans and bring the game to life. Tragically, Niehaus was taken from us far too soon, shortly following the 2010 season, leaving a void that's truly impossible to fill. For so long, through years and years of misery, the one thing Mariner fans could take solace in was knowing they'd be treated to Niehaus's pure brilliance for 3 hours, night after night, starting with their first pitch in 1977 and continuing for 34 years and nearly 5,300
Where is
games
this piece?
thereafter.
It's a wild, back-and-forth game between the Mariners and Athletics. Down by a run in the bottom of the 9th, Tino Martinez steps in with a man on first. Listen closely here as Dave Niehaus's voice momentarily fades out before returning closer to the mic.
Here comes the pitch to Tino. Swung on and belted deep to right field. And that will be flying away. And the Mariners
He was probably spinning in his chair.
I asked in part 1 why anyone would want to watch the Mariners in those atrocious early days. Well, there's your reason. Regardless of the quality or lack thereof of the product put forth on the field, Niehaus always provided an A++ broadcast.
Bad news comes on the 26th. The measure has, for the time being, lost the lead, but it's still alive. There are still about 3,000 ballots yet to be counted. After weeks of sniping at one another from different parts of the country, the Angels finally have to drag their sorry asses up to Seattle and meet their conquerors in person. They get
Yes!
thumped
Oh my
10-2
God, dude, it
thanks
was
to homers from
sitting
Griffey
like
and Jay Buhner.
it was
It's
sitting
their
like
7th
this.
consecutive win, and the
So I
Mariners now
couldn't
lead
see
the
that it
West
was-
by 3
oh.
games with just 6 to play.
Finally. Finally.
The next day, it becomes clear. The vote has failed.
Dude.
The Mariners lose to the Angels that afternoon,
Come on, man.
win their next 2 games against the Rangers, and end up splitting the series in Texas after getting thumped 9-2 and 9-3. They left exactly enough room for the Angels to catch up to them, and the Angels did. Their 144-game schedule ends in a tie. It necessitates something Major League Baseball hasn't seen in 15 years, a special 1-game tiebreaker between the Mariners and Angels to decide
You're telling me
who
this shit
goes
comes
to the
down to a
playoffs.
1-game
What comes next for
tiebreaker?
the Mariners and where they end up
162
playing next year,
fucking
no one
games.
can really say.
An entire
But if nothing else,
franchise on the
this much is
line.
guaranteed. The
One
Seattle
game.
Mariners will play one more baseball game. The final game of an absurd season will turn out to be its most absurd. For one, the timing is odd. This is without question the most important game the Mariners have ever played, and yet the first pitch is at 1 p.m. on a Monday afternoon.
On a Monday?
Well, at least it was the biggest story of that Monday afternoon, right? No, it wasn't.
Oh.
It's time to meet Randy Johnson. Who, at 6'10", became the tallest player in the history of Major League Baseball when he entered the bigs in 1988. Everyone thought he had greatness in him. It showed up in flashes, most notably in 1990, when he threw the first no-hitter in Mariners history. But he led the league in walks 3 years in a row, and his ERA hung around 4, placing him around the middle of the pack. And
My
then
goat.
Nolan Ryan came to town. Before a Mariners-Rangers game in 1992, Johnson ran into the future Hall of Famer and confessed that
He's on
something
an
in
all.
his mechanics
He's an all-time, but
wasn't
I don't
working.
think he's a goat.
Ryan said, "Hey, try landing on the front of your foot instead of your heel." Randy listened. And just like that, his numbers drastically improved, and he was well on his way to becoming one of the most accomplished pitchers baseball has ever seen. He was also among the most intimidating. He had a 102-mile-per-hour fastball, but his most devastating pitch was a 90-mile-per-hour slider that had so much on it that it looked like a fastball. It was almost unfair. It was called Mr. Snappy.
Wow.
So with the future of the organization hanging in the balance, Seattle skipper Lou Piniella had the ultimate ace up his sleeve, as he was able to give the ball to Johnson on short rest. And it's completely clear why that seemingly risky move wasn't so risky, but was in fact the obvious call. The big unit wasn't just the team's top pitcher, but he was the very best in the entire American League by miles. In terms of both OPS allowed and ERA, no one was close to him. He notched at least 12 strikeouts in 9 games, existing on his own stratosphere relative to the rest of the league, on his way to fanning nearly 300 batters despite an abbreviated MLB season.
Wow.
So while Seattle had the runaway Cy Young winner on the hill, the Angels ace was out of commish, with all-star Chuck Finley having tossed over 100 pitches the prior afternoon to get him to this game. That meant the Angels' hopes rested on longtime Mariner Mark Langston, who Seattle had traded to Montreal in the deal that landed him Johnson. The Mariners were oozing confidence in a game that they got to host based on the flip of a coin. Piniella saw a win as a foregone conclusion. So did left fielder Vince Coleman. And Randy was indeed an untouchable force of nature for the first 6 innings of this one, retiring each of the Angels'
What do
first
you guys think of
17
this? What do you guys think of this
before
video?
His bid for perfection was broken up by his ex-roommate of all people. Langston was pretty good too, allowing just 1 run through 6. But then
You guys think
things
got
got
it's
away
fire?
from him in the 7th. The Mariners loaded
I
up
love
the
it. I
bases
watch it
with
literally
former
every year.
Angel Luis Sojo at the dish, who then punched a grounder to the right that probably should have been an ending 3-1 putout, but that instead, first baseman JT Snow flubbed. Snow could only watch as the ball blooped into foul territory and underneath the Angels' bullpen bench. By the time right fielder Tim Salmon dug it up, 2 Mariners had scored. An unfortunate set of circumstances turned disastrous when Langston's throwing error allowed for the ultimate embarrassment. 4 runs scoring on a ball that touched an infielder's glove. For
Wow.
what has to be the first and only time in the history of organized baseball. Thanks to the fielding work of 2 Angels that would each win Gold Gloves that season. That is baseball for you. With the game now blown wide open, the M's could just sit back and ride Johnson to the AL West title.
Well, now the Seattle Mariners are
here.
guaranteed to exist for at least a few more days as they move
At
on to
least,
make
you
their
know,
first ever
at least-
playoff
oh.
appearance in the
Oh, I'm doing this
1995
wrong.
ALDS.
I did not realize it was asking me
And
to...
if this were a work of fiction, this is exactly the way we would write it.
Oh, listen to this music. This shit is banging. Don't worry, we'll watch the next one too. Wow, I did not get it done in 15 minutes, but that's fine. I mean, I probably took about 10 of it looking.
Management has made it clear that if there's no stadium deal by the end of the month, they're selling, which virtually guarantees moving. Washington Governor Mike Lowry begins to arrange a last-ditch effort to fund a new park, but as it stands, it's kind of a long shot. For one, politicians are generally hesitant to counteract a public vote. For another, we're less than 1 year removed from the Republican Revolution of 1994. Washington state served as ground zero, as the spending-averse GOP saw more House victories here than in anywhere else in the country. The on-field performance of the Mariners seems to be the only variable left. If they squeak into the playoffs only to be immediately snuffed out, is that enough to move the needle? Probably not. This team, which had never seriously contended in their entire history until about a month ago, has to win something. 5 games.
Swung on in a
close to
high
3
fly
takes.
ball.
And again, this could not have been written any better. To this point in history, the New York Yankees had been to the World Series 33 times and won 22 of them. They were everything the Mariners were not. The Yankees played in a storied stadium that lasted nearly a century. The Mariners played in a concrete dome built on the cheap that started falling apart in 20 years' time. The Yankees were a mainstay of American culture. The Mariners had to fight for the privilege of existing. The Yankees got married to Marilyn Monroe and hung out with the Rat Pack. Mariners made toilet jello and threw up because it was funny. In recent times, the Yankees had emerged like locusts, surfacing to contend every 10 or 15 years. In '94, the strike may have been the only thing keeping them from another World Series, as they had the best record in the American League. They decided that, once again, it was their time. The Yankees were an archenemy to many, but few, if any, shared the animosity held by Ken Griffey Jr. The 1983 incident wasn't a simple clubhouse misunderstanding. The Griffey family had been disrespected, and for Jr., a family man who famously preferred spending time with his wife and kids to living the celebrity lifestyle, it was not a forgettable offense. In Ken Sr.'s autobiography, Big Red, he wrote that Junior carried this grudge against the Yankees throughout his entire career, adding that he played his best games against them.
Real as fuck.
In fact, despite all the premier pitching the Yankees threw at Junior over the years,
Romanticize
he hit better
hatred
against them
sometimes.
than any other team. 7 years
Only
into
when
his
it's
career,
competitive.
Baseball's biggest superstar is finally in the
Put that on
playoffs.
my tombstone.
Here is his opportunity to save the future of his team and exact revenge on another.
Junior and the Mariners entered the first
We're getting there,
ever
chat,
ALDS
both in
game
this video
fighting an
and
uphill battle.
building.
For starters, after punching their playoff ticket with that win over the Angels, they didn't get into New York, their third time zone in 3 days, until after 4 in the morning. On top of that, they were without the services of their superstar ace at the beginning of the series, thanks to Johnson's heroics the day before to even get him here. But Buck Showalter's Yankees had the luxury of being able to send their top pitcher to the mound on full rest, mid-season trade acquisition, and reigning AL Cy Young winner David Cone.
Wow.
Cone's been red hot, having allowed just 4 runs across his final 25 innings of the regular season, and he got an early lead with a 2-run Wade Boggs homer. But,
Wow.
as John mentioned, having a star pitcher on the mound didn't matter when it came to Griffey. No matter how good any pitcher was, if he was wearing the pinstripes, Junior was going to dole out the punishment. And sure enough, to lead off the next inning, he cut the deficit in half with a single gorgeous swing of the bat, sending a Cone split finger to the upper deck. Later on, trailing by 2 with a man on, Griffey again took a Cone splitter deep to right that tied the score at 4.
He has done it again. Goodbye, home run.
But alas, the Yanks pulled away with a late inning onslaught against M's reliever Bobby Ayala and took
I don't know
game
when
one
I'm
by
supposed to
score
add this
9-6.
piece, but I just saw a piece that I just added now. When was that? Recently?
For game 2,
Yeah, okay, it
Pinella
was
gave
literally
the ball
last
to
month.
Andy
I
Bettis
just
in
didn't see
an
it.
all-Andy pitching duel against 23-year-old Yankee rookie Andy Pettitte, making the first start of his MLB record 44 career postseason starts. And they took a third-inning lead when left fielder Vince Coleman, a man who was an all-time great when it came to swiping bases, but had come into this game with just 27 homers through his first 11 big league regular seasons, sent a 3-2 fastball soaring the opposite way that New York right fielder Paul O'Neill could only watch sail over the fence to give
No, he
Seattle
coulda got
the
that.
early lead.
Oh,
They
never mind.
trailed for the first
GG.
time when Ruben Sierra and Don Mattingly led off the bottom of the 6th inning with back-to-back dingers. And even though they retook the lead on a 7th inning Griffey sac fly, O'Neill hit a blast of his own to tie it back up.
Sack fly is like when you have a person on second or third and someone like hits the ball up to first and they catch it. You can then run to the next base. So let's say this guy was probably on third, and let's say Griffey hits it into center field or right field. They have enough time to run to get to home or whatever it may be, to get off of the sacrifice fly. Yeah, what up, lobotomy? When Mariner no brim? What do you mean by this? We're currently watching the Mariners video. I don't have a hat with no brim on it for Mariners. I mean, I can turn it backwards. I mean, I guess.
Necessitating extra innings to decide this one.
Mariner no brim.
And a couple minutes after Wednesday became Thursday, that sure appeared to be the Mariners when Griffey, facing New York closer John Wetland, against whom Junior's 6 weeks removed from hitting a walk-off
You know, maybe
homer,
eventually
launched this
we'll
12th
get
inning
Mariner no
fastball
brim.
into the night.
You know, maybe you can start it.
To right field, towards the gap, 385. My goodbye. Home run. He has done it again.
Griffey had put Seattle on the brink of tying the series at a game apiece, further validating the enormous praise lobbed his way by Mr. October himself, Reggie Jackson. But in the Yankees' last chance at the dish, Wade Boggs drew a walk to reach base before Jorge Posada pinch ran for him. It was Posada's maiden voyage on an MLB base path, and he was representing
Okay, I'm
a
really
tying
close,
run
but I'm going to
in
use the
extra
extra.
innings of a playoff game.
Enjoy
Pinella
Mariners baseball.
summoned starting pitcher Tim Belcher out of the pen,
I didn't
who
use the restroom.
promptly
I'll
allowed
probably be
a
back in a little
2-out
bit.
Ruben Sierra double that
I'll have the
brought
chat
Posada
on in my
home to
phone, so
stay
I'll text
alive.
you from there if you have any questions.
After failing to score in the next 3 innings against Mariano Rivera, Belcher capped what had now broken the 24-hour-old record for longest playoff game in MLB history by allowing a 15th inning walk-off homer to Yankee catcher Jim Leyritz,
It could be. Back in the wall. Goodbye. Home run. The Yankees win.
giving the Yankees a commanding 2-0 series lead and compelling the M's to win 3 in a row as the series shifted to the Kingdom.
The morning of Game 3, an update from Governor Lowry hits the papers, and it's not good. Negotiations still aren't going anywhere. Republicans are maintaining a hard line, no taxes for a new park. And if the Mariners get unceremoniously swept out of the playoffs, well, that line is probably all the easier to hold. Baseball isn't like other sports. One player can't carry his team to greatness. The greatest hitter can bat every 9 times, and that's it. It's why, in Junior's first few great seasons, the Mariners were mediocre at best. It's why, in his historically great 93 and 94 seasons, you could look at their win-loss record and never even know he was there. And it's why Game 3, on October 6th, 1995, could very well be the last game the Seattle Mariners ever play.
Coming off 2 games in the Bronx with a rabid Yankee fanbase that was constantly throwing garbage on the field and hurling objects at Mariner players, Seattle was very much looking forward to returning to the Kingdom. And at least in Game 3, with their backs completely against the wall in their first ever home playoff game, they got to climb on the giant shoulders of Randy Johnson, who in '95 we know was seemingly indestructible, untouchable, and automatic.
Yow. Fuck, 2 losses.
For the first 3 no-hit innings, it was more of the same. Until Bernie Williams' crushing homer in the 4th put the Yanks up, even with the M's deity on the mound. It looked even more grim with Johnson's New York counterpart, another recent AL Cy Young winner in Jack McDowell, in an absolute groove, having faced the minimum 12 batters through 4 innings.
Wow.
However, that mistake to Williams was Johnson's only real blip, with Seattle taking the lead back on a 2-run bomb in the 5th off the bat of Tino Martinez,
Mariner hat, but no Mariner, so it's just the brim.
and a monster 6th
So like a
inning
sun
returned
visor?
the baseball world to the normalcy of being able to ride
Are we talking
brilliant
like a
gem from
sun
the big
visor?
unit when they needed it the very most, to a huge win. For the second time that week, the entire season, and maybe the entire existence of the franchise, came down to Randy Johnson's left arm on 3 days rest. For the second time that week, even without his best stuff, Randy Johnson delivered. Season still alive.
Yes, sir!
But to keep
Yes,
the plug
sir!
from being pulled, Seattle would have to win another 2 games, starting mere mortals at pitcher. And Game 4 starter Chris Bosio wasted 0 time showing just how mortal he was. 3 batters into the game, 3 Yankees were aboard. They all eventually scored, putting the Mariners way behind the 8 ball just minutes in. Another O'Neill homer a couple innings later buried the Mariners into a dreadful 5-run hole. Hope was just about gone. And it may well have been completely gone if not for the presence of one Edgar Martinez. Their third baseman turned designated
Chat,
hitter
I did
was
it!
coming off a couple injury-plagued seasons, but in 1995 stayed healthy and had been MLB's top batter.
Hold up,
even
let
though
me,
he was widely underappreciated.
Outside of Seattle, Edgar never got the enormous amount of credit he deserved, largely because he spent most of his career as a designated hitter. Well, this is the guy we were ignoring. If you want to know how good a hitter is and you only want to look at one number, OPS, or on-base plus slugging, is the number for you. In '95, Edgar's OPS surpassed 1100, a mark that even the best hitters rarely approach in a full season. Up here is a jumble of seasons owned by the likes of Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, and Mickey Mantle. In '94, 3 guys reached the mark, but because of the strike, they only had to maintain the number for 2/3 of a normal season. Edgar's up here playing damn near a full season. From the early 60s up until this season, his only neighbor is Barry Bonds. The arc of Edgar's career is as fascinating as its apex. It was the precise opposite of Griffey's. Ironically, when scouts came to watch Edgar in Puerto Rico, they liked his fielding, but they saw him as a weak hitter without much potential. At age 20, Junior was already an all-star with 2 seasons under his belt. At the same age, Edgar was working days at a furniture store, then working nights at a factory. As a last-ditch effort, he dragged himself to a Mariners tryout after a grueling night shift, played on fumes, and somehow managed to show enough flash to earn an offer from the team. He didn't even play his first major league game until age 24, and didn't play his first full season until age 27, at which age Griffey had already played so much great baseball that he could have retired on the spot and still probably made the Hall of Fame. Edgar was 32 now, and his OPS of 1.109, across his entire career, Junior never did that. It's impossible to overstate just how great this guy was.
And when the next opportunity to hit for Seattle rolled around, they got 2 men on before Edgar strolled to the plate. It was time for this superhero to put on his cape and bring the Kingdom to life with a towering 3-run
Dude,
shot.
there's so many pieces. Like this, I didn't even get to use the film at all. But I guess that's just not for this one, I guess.
2. They eventually took a 6-5 lead behind a, and forgive me if I'm starting to sound like a broken record, Ken Griffey Jr. home run. In the roller coaster that is Mariner baseball, they allowed the Yanks to pull even heading into the bottom of the 8th, with Edgar due up 4th. The first 3 all reached base, which is a pretty good way to tee up the AL batting champ. A meatball was served right down the middle of the plate by poor John Wetland, and if you make a mistake like that to Martinez, he'll rip your heart out with the grandest of slams.
Maybe I can add the strip.
To not only become the first player to ever drive in 7 runs in a playoff game, but also bust the game wide open. Almost not wide open enough, though, as Bernie Williams nearly hit a miraculous game-tying homer when the Yankees were down to their last out, only to settle harmlessly into Junior's
You got any
glove.
plans for today? Lobotomy?
Outside of a compound ankle fracture suffered by their Mariner Moose mascot, it was a magical evening. Against all odds, the Mariners had tied the series at 2 games apiece to force a winner-take-all game 5.
Okay, let me add
the
this
following
for
evening.
Wes.
The eyes of the entire country descended upon the Kingdom for this one, the first day with but a single nationally televised game since Joe Carter's World Series winning walk-off about 23 and a half months earlier. Unlike Seattle, New York got to rely on their ace for the do-or-die affair, though even he knew no answers existed for Edgar. The first couple innings were scoreless, thanks in large part due to the bottom half of the second frame when Seattle had a runner in scoring position with none out, then 2 in scoring position with just 1 out, only for David Cone to escape the jam by striking out the side. But then in the third, just like Vince Coleman's remarkably unlikely homer in Game 2, 30-year-old Mariner second baseman Joey Cora opened the scoring by
chat, you're
going
in the
deep for
Discord.
just the 8th time in more than 2,000 career at-bats. O'Neill answered the next inning to put the Yankees on top, with the M's trailing by 2 in the bottom of the 6th. A leadoff double by Edgar again gave Seattle a runner in scoring position with none out, and again Cone struck out the side to neutralize the threat. More deja vu for Junior's next time at the plate in the 8th, when his 3rd homer of the series off Cone was also his 5th overall, matching Reggie Jackson's record for the most in any postseason series and pulling the Mariners within one. As the inning drew on,
kinda
a
sick.
completely gassed Cone lost any semblance of control as his pitch count
I like it.
approached
I'll keep it on my desk.
150. He issued a couple walks to help load the bases before yet
I wish it was a
another freebie
little
to
smoother,
pinch
you
hitter
know.
Doug Strange
I wish it had
capped
more of the
Seattle's
smooth
two-out
pieces,
rally and
but
tied
I
the
guess,
game
you know, it's a
heading into the
3-in-1,
ninth, where the
so I can
party
see why
was
you don't want to put
just
too
getting
many
started.
extra pieces in the thing.
The
So I might
Yankees were on the
ask Rick,
verge
be
of
like, hey,
dealing
can I
a
borrow
death
some
blow when they
smooth
got 2
pieces
on with none out
to,
in the
like,
top of the order
make this
due up
camera
against
look
Mariner
nicer?
reliever Norm Charlton.
Because I don't know,
In
I
other
don't
words,
really, I don't like how
desperation
this
time.
side is just all these. That I don't like that in my brain. It looks worse.
And we
I don't
all
mind
know
this.
Who's risen to the
'cause
occasion?
that it allows you to,
time
like, see
and
it, you know?
Time again, when it's desperation o'clock.
But all of this here, I might ask Jonah's dad, because Jonah's father's really into Legos. He's really into. He literally collects.
Less than
Last time I was
48
seeing,
hours
literally
removed
last
from
time
throwing
I
nearly
was seeing Jonah's father, he was literally organizing his Lego pieces. I'm not kidding. So, I bet he'll maybe I can buy some off him. Maybe I'll just go to a Lego store. Maybe I can just do that too. I don't even, I bet they're not that expensive. Okay, let's see. How much longer? Okay.
120 pitches, with over 240 across the previous 6 days. For a very limited appearance, Johnson was somehow available out of the pen.
Wow.
His legend grew when he sat down the heart of the Yankee lineup in order, getting the M's
They
out
were
of that
scared of him.
bleak situation
They were scared.
unscathed. The bottom half of the ninth was the Mariners' turn to reach the doorstep of victory, knocking Mariano Rivera on the ropes with the series-winning run in scoring position and
Wow.
just 1 out.
One of the
New
best
York
closers.
responded by calling on McDowell for his first career relief appearance, and he likewise rose to the challenge to keep the game tied as the Game 3 starters were now dueling in extras to decide the
All right, let's watch
5th
this
game
video, then we'll
for
play some
all the
DuckTales.
marbles.
Hopefully beat it. Play some Pokopia.
And they stayed dueling, with Johnson pitching another inning and striking out the side in a Herculean effort that left every ounce of everything he had on the field.
Dude, there's so much light in my room.
The 10th inning turned into the 11th inning, and what was initially supposed to be a
How about
break
that? That's a
glass
lot better.
in case of
I kinda like that.
emergency situation to get an out, maybe 2, had now turned into a 3rd inning on the mound. And finally, at this point, the effects
Little bit of
his
reflection, but that's
monstrous
fine.
workload started to cause some cracks, with this Randy Velarde go-ahead RBI single a brutal punch to the gut, sending the
Wow.
Mariners into the bottom of the 11th, 3 outs away from utter heartbreak and devastation.
Fuck.
Joey Cora was set to lead off, and at that point, he'd attempted 36 career bunts with the bases empty. 15 of them resulted in a hit, including one the day before. Now make it 16 out of 37. Tying run aboard.
Yes!
Griffey continued his torrid stretch by singling him over to 3rd.
Yeah!
Tying run 90 feet away, ALDS winning run aboard.
Come on.
Into the batter's box stepped Edgar Martinez.
Chat, do you feel this? Do you feel this tension
A dozen
right
years
now?
ago, when he was working the night shift at a General Electric factory in San Juan, Edgar never could have imagined himself in this moment. He doesn't even need a hit to tie the game. With the speedy Cora at 3rd, any outfield fly should do just fine. And even with 1 out, they still have Junior on base. For Ken Griffey Jr. to score the run that ends the New York Yankees season, well, that's the type of moment he's been waiting on for 12 years. And the opportunity to call a moment of this magnitude is something Dave Niehaus has waited for since the very beginning.
I'm
Nearly
legitimately,
20
every
years
time I
ago.
watch it, I get goosebumps.
This moment belongs to these 3 men.
I would
glove, a base hit into the gap, and they could win it with Junior speed to stretch. And the 0-1 pitch on the way to Edgar Martinez. Swung on the line, down the left field line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my. Edgar Martinez with a double. Ripped down the left field line, and they are going crazy at the Kingdom.
Goosebumps. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT.
It's so beautifully, obnoxiously fake. The superstar slides into home to beat the bad guy. Fireworks are lit off indoors above a nylon field. The team just played for its life and won. There are two mobs here. One swarms around Edgar, who will spend his entire career in Seattle. This is the hit that will one day push him over the top and get him into the Baseball Hall of Fame, and it's popular to consider it as the hit that saved baseball in Seattle. As overdramatic as that might sound, it's probably accurate. In the aftermath, opposing politicians lamented that the public's excitement for the team was putting them over a barrel. A couple weeks later, funds for the stadium were delivered.
Because they beat the
Edgar's double into
Yankees!
left field is likely the reason the Seattle Mariners are here today. Somewhere in the other pile of bodies is Junior, who did it with his legs this time, flying in all the way from first base. Almost no other power hitter of his era would have been able to leg that one out. When he did, he exacted revenge on a team that he'd resented since he was 13 years old, and he helped to save the future of his own team. Junior is barely visible within this tumbleweed of Mariners. On the ABC broadcast, he emerges for just a handful of frames. The images we'll always remember him for. Yelling like an idiot in pure disbelief that he's slain two dragons at once. This is a moment that belongs to another world. One where cycles close and stories end, where there are heroes and the heroes win. A moment like this has no business in our world.
Wow. Claps in chat. Good movie. Good movie. There's more to the Seattle documentary, but we're not gonna watch it today. Sorry to disappoint. Sorry to disappoint. But what a great movie to watch while putting together Legos, huh? Huh? Every time I get goosebumps. Every single time. What a good movie. Wow. Man, and guess what? The Mariners, they're on track to do it. Just know that the Mariners are on track to do it, to finally win a World Series. This year is our year. We have a superstar. His name is Cal Raleigh. Last year, he hit 60 home runs, okay, which is a big, big feat. And he has a big, big dumper, okay? This guy got a butt on him, okay? But he also has a lot of supporting cast. He has his own pitcher. He has his own team behind him. And this year could be the year that the Seattle Mariners win the World Series. I'm very excited for it. I'm very thrilled. I hope they do it. Ah! Loud. That was very loud. Holy shit. I apologize, chat. I apologize.